What's going on, guys? This is Minutes with Melon, and this shit is crazy. This is what happens. China's running everything. They're taking over Canada. Tell me what you think.
And it's called the China's Thousand Talents Program, which once again I had never heard of this. So these two doctors, Xing Guo Chu and her husband Kedling Cheng, and I wanted to get these names right, were hired to work in the lab. And then what the Canadian Intelligence Service discovered was that Dr. Chu was sending back intelligence information and pathogens to China, which were being used by the People's Liberation Army, amongst others. Now, this went on for years. For years. The two were finally fired and sent back to China in 2021. Immediately thereafter, all evidence of this, all documentation was suppressed by the Trudeau government, and Trudeau called a snap election in 2021. Very, very suspicious. Now, I'll go on in a minute about why that's very suspicious. But what's interesting here is that nobody's calling this an espionage case or spying. That's clearly what was going on. And that's what CSIS identified here, the Canadian Security Intelligence Service. They identified a pattern of spying. Nobody was ever charged with espionage. Nobody was ever charged with spying. But nonetheless, when you read what was going on from the CSIS reports, that's clearly what was going on here. Now, my question is, why did it take so long to react to this situation when CSIS was aware of it? And why did the government cover it up immediately upon the dismissal of these two scientists?
So when you talk about Watergate, you talk about where this rises, who knew what when, right? That's of course the big questions that emerge. And the how high did it go? Did the Trudeau government, did Justin Trudeau himself become aware of this and then make steps, moves to try to cover it up? I guess that's the devil's in the details here.
Well, that's exactly it. My question, though, is was there a quid pro quo? Did the Trudeau government knowingly facilitate this activity, this release of information and pathogens back to China because they wanted Chinese election interference in 2021? Here's the connection nobody's really making, I think, except me at this point, is that in 2021, China interfered in Canada's federal election. A CSIS whistleblower revealed that. And he said Trudeau had been briefed about that election interference. But did Trudeau know about that election interference beforehand? Did he want that election interference because he knew it would help him win another election, which of course it did. And the fact that China interfered in 2021 is known. That's a fact. I'm wondering whether or not there was collusion here, because this government is so corrupt and it is so seething with hypocrisy and absolute inability to be held accountable. And once again, when Trudeau was confronted with this information, what did he do? He said, "Not my fault. It didn't happen. It didn't happen because of anything I did. Anything that happens on a prime minister's watch is ultimately his responsibility or her responsibility." And Trudeau, once again, refuses to take any responsibility, refuses to be held accountable for this. And in fact, what does he do? He blames the Conservatives for making an issue out of this, just like he blamed Russia for inviting a Nazi to the parliamentary gallery. He's running distraction again.
He has a knack for that. Like he.
Do you see the pattern yet? Yeah, I do. See you on the next one.